Listen to this from Joel Embiid. This is a great setting for me because I'm playing with a lot of great players. It's all about finding ways to bring whatever I can and obviously make sure that we win. In the NBA, I'm used to being the guy. Now you got to give it up, so I'm loving it. Ric Bucher, what does this tell you about Joel Embiid?
This tells me that Joel Embiid may have been only the guy in name only, because I've never known of a guy who is legitimately the guy who enjoys not being the guy.
I agree.
And so we've propped him up as the process, as the guy that's going to legitimize everything that the Philadelphia 76ers went through. But I can't name a player that I saw as, and we're talking about not just the best player on a team, but a guy who's capable of leading a team to a championship. I am used to hearing them say, hey, you know what? I'm being asked to play a role, and I will do that, but because I want to help us win. But they generally struggle with it because it's not in their DNA. It's not their mentality to take a back seat. So for Joel Embiid to be saying, I love taking a back seat, I love not having the responsibility or the pressure to lead this team to victory, makes me question if he's truly what we've made him out to be, which is a guy who's capable of leading a team to a championship.
He certainly is that guy, Rick, right? One of Joel Embiid's biggest problems is his health. His health. Whether that's because it contributes that to being in shape, and he gets hurt because people feel like he's not in shape and he's carrying a lot of extra weight around, whatever the case may be. The way that I look at this thing is I say, look, he recognizes there are other great players all the way around him. Like everybody from the beginning of the bench with LeBron to the end of the bench to Tatum. Everybody else in the in-between are the great players on their team, or one of the great players on their team, so to speak. They're sitting at a certain pecking order. Obviously, the Celtics got 3 guys on there, 2 guys that are very, very important pieces in Holiday and Derek White, with Tatum, who will play tonight, according to the head coach. But so when you look at Embiid and you look at his NBA performance, when he's, as Skip say, when he's right, he's right. He just, at times, hasn't been right. And I think this is a way for him, just from the outside looking in, to be able to say to everybody, I'm not right, and I'm chilling right now, and I'm enjoying being in Paris, and I'm on my vacation. In the little bit of 11 minutes that I get, I'll contribute if I can, but I don't have to go and play the entire 40 minutes of the game for us to win. I think that's what he's saying in this situation. Now, he mentioned Maxey and Paul George in this same conversation he was having, that, you know, that it'll be different with those guys on the floor. The problem with Philadelphia in the NBA is they've had guys on the floor with him before. He can't stay healthy. You can't, at some point, though, it's going to run out. The clock is going to run out on the Embiid experiment in Philadelphia. And what I mean by that, he's been in the league 11 seasons. 9 of the 11 seasons, he's been healthy. He started, whatever, 2 years was wasted because it was trust the process. So out of the 9 years in the league, he's had 3 different head coaches. So he gets a coach removed, and not necessarily him vocally, but the coach expires coaching that team 3 years later. He becomes a coach killer at some point in time, but you can't keep rolling in players and still not getting it done. Rolling them in, not getting it done. Rolling them in, not getting it done. His biggest thing is staying healthy. He was an MVP 2 years ago. Could have been the MVP again this year. He started off extremely hot. He's just got to stay healthy, man. If he can stay healthy and shave some of that down, I think we're going to see one of the all-time great players in the NBA. We can't say that he's an all-time great just because he won the MVP just yet. But if he can somehow stay healthy, Skip and Rick, I think we're going to see something special out of him and Paul George and Maxey.
Okay, so Keyshawn, your favorite young player in the NBA is Anthony Edwards, and you see something special in him already, and I don't doubt you on that. What did Anthony Edwards say to start all this off with the Olympic team?
I'm that guy.
I'm that guy. He said, I'm the first option. And he wasn't kidding. He said they need to fit in around me. And when he comes onto the floor, you can just see his body language like, I'm going to take these shots. Joel is the most talented big man I've ever seen as far as shooting touch goes. I'm not going to say go to Shaq or Wilt or whatever, but just on the shooting touch, the free throw touch, the three-point touch.
Got a lot in his bag.
Oh, God, does he? It gives me chills to even talk about it. But I'm never sure about his drive, about what fire burns in his belly. I'm never sure. Do you have it? Do you really want to get and stay in shape so that you can lead that team to a championship? And I'm never sure about that because he doesn't demonstrate it to me. And you're right, he can't stay healthy. And sometimes he can't stay healthy because he's carrying around too many pounds and he bangs too hard on his knees and they won't support him. But I've now seen 3 quotes from Joel in the last 2 weeks. Remember, the first one was, oh, Boston's got a super team. If I go 5 for 20, we get blown out. Well, guess what? Are you getting nervous now? Because I'm not saying you have a super team, but you have a really good team around you thanks to Daryl Morey's maneuvers because you did go get Paul George and the rest. It's strong. It's good enough if you can stay right, get right and stay right. You could win the East. You could beat Boston. And then he tried to make the case, I'm the most hated man in the NBA. No, you're not. Nobody hates Joel Embiid. And it's like he wants to turn himself into a sympathetic figure now. No, you don't need that. And for him to say, oh, I'm chilling, basically. This is fun for me. It's why he only played 11 minutes the other night, because Steve Kerr said, I've seen enough of that. Because he's not in great shape right now, and he's not playing all that hard right now. And you put Anthony Davis in, put Bam in, and all of a sudden the whole energy of the team lifts up, and they're a great tag team duo, and that's what you'll probably see more of again tonight against South Sudan, today here in America.
And that's why it'll be interesting, Rick, to see, and I'd like to get your thoughts on this, because Joel Embiid is, right now, he's the only MVP in the history of the NBA to never advance to a final. Yeah. He's the only one. Yeah. The conference final. The only one.
Second round.
Yeah. So it'll be interesting if it does not work out in Philadelphia with Paul George and the other guys that they brought on this year. Yeah. What happens at the end of the season? Is he on the move? Is it going to be one of these type situations if it doesn't work out? Even if he stayed healthy for a majority of the time, it didn't work out. Will the finger point start? Yeah.
Keyshawn, I can't believe you're taking this line of thinking when it comes to Joel Embiid. The just give me the damn ball guy is saying, like, I'm trying to imagine you, Keyshawn, going, hey, you know what? This third receiver position, I kind of like, I like this.
That's why I'm here with Skip. Because I retired early because I'm not going into that role.
But that's my point. If you have that mentality never turns off. You may accept in certain situations, and this is a very unique situation where you're playing with other greats, but you're not loving it. You're not comfortable with it. And I can't help but feel some of this is because Joel is getting dragged. First of all, because he turned his back on the French team after they thought that he was going to play for them and turned around and said, I'm going to play for Team USA instead. He's getting booed every time he touches the ball.
Yep.
Psychologically, you can't tell me that that's not impacting him in terms of how he's playing. And then, obviously, played in the playoffs, probably shouldn't have played because of injury. He's not in shape, and I can accept that he's not in shape here. But I've also seen the Jalen Brunsons of the world who have played through injury. Kobe Bryant, go down the line. The guys who you could consider the man, even if they don't have the talent of Joel Embiid, they have the mentality of being the man. And injury or being compromised physically didn't stop them from getting the job done. There's been far too many situations where I've watched Joel and I'm thinking, you need to go and get this game now. And he has either deferred or for one reason or another has not had the ability to close it. So now when I hear him say, I'm comfortable. I actually am relieved not to have to be the guy. It tells me that all of those previous instances were that we were trying to fit a square peg in a round hole, that he's not built to be what the Philadelphia 76ers hope that he can be. Because I've never heard of a guy who is truly the man and has the mentality of being the man who says, hey, you know what? I appreciate that I don't have to be the man. I've never heard anybody who's legitimately that say that. And Keyshawn, you're one of those who I would think would never say that. Even if you had to accept the position, you wouldn't be comfortable with it.
No, you're right about me personally. I couldn't accept it, nor would I accept it, nor would I ever say that. But everybody is different. And the way that I'm looking at the situation with him over in Paris is he's with a bunch of great players. He realizes, just like you realize, and Skip realized, he's not playing good basketball. So it's very easy to say, hey, I don't have to do as much because I'm now surrounded with a bunch of great players that can carry.
Right. It's an alibi. It's an alibi.
And look, in his defense, I don't mind that if that's truly the way he feels. But if you are saying this because you're getting booed every time you touch the ball and it's psychologically messing with you, then maybe you're not what everybody think you are or propped you up to be. I just don't think that's the case. And Rick, when I look at the playoffs against the Knicks in particular, the man was out on the court with one leg. And he played as well as you can with one leg. At times, he couldn't jump over a book. He couldn't get up this high because his knees were bothering him. But he still was out on the court, fighting through it, trying his best to figure out how to will his team to victory. So I'm not going to say that he didn't try or he wasn't out on the court giving his best in that situation. The biggest thing for him, go ahead.
One of the other things that he said that we've heard him say recently was he told Tyrese Maxey, hey, I can give you 2.5 quarters. I can give you 3 quarters. But I'm not going to be there at the end. He said this going into the game.
Yes,
he said
but when you are hurt and you are feeling a certain way and you know your body better than any of us, you can go to your teammate and you can say, look, dog, I'm going to do everything I can. I'm going to let you finish it because I don't think if I give you all of this right now, I can close it out in the end. I mean, I don't know. I'm not a doctor. I don't know what his knee looked like in the inside, but the brace and just all of his body, the brace that he's wearing, how he was moving around. I don't remember what game it was, Skip. You have a better memory than me, even though you're older than me. He left the game at halftime, and we all felt like, oh, well, he's done. Look at him. He came back out the second half and tried to contribute to the team. So it's like, I don't want to just say that the dude is kind of like throwing in the towel. I got to wait to see when he gets to the NBA season what he looks like.
Okay, Keyshawn, there are times when Joel Embiid is a clutch closer for them. When he is right, he's really right. I don't doubt his guts or his big game intensity. When he's locked in, he can really lock in with the best of them. I've pushed for him the year before he won the MVP to win the MVP. And to your point, it looked like he was off to the races last year. But he does not commit the way LeBron or even Kevin Durant commit to keeping themselves
I understand.
Right.
Yeah.
Because there's a way. It's what you put in your mouth, and it's what you do in the
offseason.
Food. He likes the
He likes his
food.
calories. That's what he likes. I mean, he's a big dude.
Yeah. He likes his sugar Coca-Colas, where you just drink straight sugar Coke. He likes that. Okay? That's fine. But you just turned 30 years of age, and it will not get any easier. So it's commitment. It's what do you want? What do you want out of your career? After you won your MVP, are you now in cruise control? Are you just kind of happy to be out there?
Well, we'll see this year.
Listen, he's going to have the spotlight on him because he's now got a squad around him.
Clearly.
Right?
Yeah. No excuses.
All right. In a moment, we're going to talk about LeBron not as an Olympian, as a Laker. Right now, LeBron's Lakers have a lot in common with my Cowboys.
Not true.
Thanks for watching, Undisputed fans. Do you want more highlights from the show? Make sure to click that subscribe button for all the exclusive content from Undisputed.